Buonasera. I'm Christopher Stewart. Now, I know the quality of this is going to be a little bit off and whatnot, but I'm doing this to prove a point. I made this DVD showing this exact thing and sent it off to every single agent on SAG's list in America through the mail. I paid for the postage to do this. And it didn't matter whether they were in New York, California, Texas, Florida. I mailed it out. Something like 400, 500 agents. Okay? Now, when I sent this out, this was years ago. This was back somewhere in 2000-ish. Okay? They could have literally just looked at it, picked up the phone, called me up, got me into their office, and said something like, well, I don't have anything for you immediately, but I can easily use you in any form of animation, and just thrown me into the biz as a voice dub, voiceover, anything. Okay? Take a look.
Stewart. Today, I'm going to read some lines for you. Okay, Leah. Dog Blue Falcon and Dog Wonder away. Carnage is as carnage does. Welcome, Spider-Man. Foul-tasting fatty, come to make. Juicy boy, who be this tender morsel, disturbing make muckle bones rest. And what a fine fat boy you are, Jack. Oh, indeed I do. Good evening, my fine young FBI friends. I'm a pretty little thing just out of late class at GMU. Please note the Jimmy Joyce and my Kate Spade. My parents are loaded as per my expensive ensemble, and that J, where is it? On my keyring, which means I'm either a Jill or Jennifer, those being the favorite chain names of Beltway parents circa 1981. I like to hang with my girlfriends and have a good time, but I'm really just a mature woman looking for a mature man. Self-realization. I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates, who said, I drank what? This is Detective Robert Graham from the FBI office in Alamogordo. We spent all day at the trailer in Graham's store, nothing. You know what that print is? It beats me. I thought you FBI guys were all quiz kids, solved everything right away. So did I when I applied for the job. You know, I'd like to send this or a copy of it to our office in Washington. You know, they just might be able to identify it, or at least prove that it's nothing. Alright. I just finished the autopsy on Graham's Johnson. Would you like it technical or plain? Just plain, Doc. Get to the verb. Well, Graham Johnson could have died in any number of 5 ways. His skull was fractured, his neck and back broken, his chest was crushed. And here's one for Sherlock Holmes. He had enough formic acid in him to kill 20 men. Trial my stone. No, must listen. An outcast. If I make peace, an outcast no more. Come, show Gelfling you will not harm us. Wait, sire. You could drink her essence. Yes, essence of Gelfling. Look into the reflector, podling. Feel the power of the dark crystal. She's denied the cross for suicide, buried at the center of a crossroads, huh? Show me the logic. Father, the devil is a practical man. If she were a witch, she was a poor return on his investment. Oh, I have ears, Father, and I've had ears notched because I love justice. Did you hear it? It shows you things. Horrible things. I won't go back there. I won't. If you could see the things I've seen, you wouldn't try to stop me. Come, sit. Do you play? The whole world is in chess. Any move could be the death of you. Do anything except remain where you started, and you can't be sure of your end. Were you sure of your end once? What was it? And now? When I was 16, I won a great victory. I felt in that moment I would live to be 100. Now I know I shall not see 30. None of us know our end, really, or what hand will guide us there. A king may move a man. A father may claim a son. That man can also move himself, and only then does that man truly begin his own game. Remember that howsoever you are played, or by whom, your soul is in your keeping alone. Even those who play you presume to be men or kings of power, kings or men of power. When you stand before God, you cannot say, "But I was told by others to do thus," or that virtue was not convenient at the time. This will not suffice. Remember that. Yeah. Come. It must have a competition with us. If Precious asks and it doesn't answer, it's it, my precious. Him? That can't be William Wallace. I am prettier than this man. All right, Father, I'll ask him. If I risk my neck for you, will I get the chance to kill an Englishman? Is your father a ghost? Or do you converse with the Almighty? In order to find his equal in Irishman, it's false to talk to God. Yes, Father. The Almighty says, don't change the subject, just answer the fucking question. On your tongue. Insane Irish. Smart enough to get a dagger past your guards, old man. That's me friend, Irishman. And the answer to your question is yes. You fight for me, you get to kill the English. Excellent! Stephen is my name. I'm the most wanted man on my island. Except I'm not on my island, of course. More's the pity. Your island? You mean Ireland? Yeah, it's mine. You're a madman. Then I've come to the right place then. When I was lying there in the VA hospital, the big hole blown through the middle of my life, I started having these dreams of flying. I was free. Sooner or later, though, you always have to wake up. In cryo, you don't dream at all. Doesn't feel like 6 years. More like a fifth of tequila and an ass kicking. Tommy was a scientist, not me. He was the one who wanted to get shot light years out in space to find the answers. Are we there yet? Now, watch this. When I was lying there in the VA hospital with a big hole blown through the middle of my life, I started to have these dreams of flying. I was free. Sooner or later, though, you always have to wake up. In cryo, you don't dream at all. It doesn't feel like 6 years, more like a fifth of tequila and an ass kicking. Tommy was a scientist, not me. He was the one who wanted to get shot light years out in space to find the answers. We there yet? Excuse me, little lady. You look lost. May I help you? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is always Christopher. I was named for St. Augustine, who coined my favorite phrase. Give me chastity and give me constancy. but do not get it yet. No, but they are. I need you to develop a sudden fear of flying. Find a quiet room and finish the formula and fax it back to me. My number's on the back. Don't you trust me, darling? My name is August Christopher. Guten Tag, Fräulein. We are not thirsty. The same thing your friend Dr. Jones wanted. Surely he told you there would be other interested parties? Ah, the man is notorious. I hope for your sake he is not yet acquired. Almost certainly. Do you still have it? Your fire is dying. Why don't you tell us where the piece is right now? Fräulein Ravenwood, let me show you with what I'm used to dealing with. Nick! That time is past. Yes, I know you will. You talking to me, Mark, or something out there? Both, David. They won't believe it back home, none of them. I wouldn't have believed it myself, sitting out here waiting for some monster to appear. That's why we've got to take him. Why won't they believe, Mark? Because we deal with known quantities, with knowledge we've accumulated up to now. Mark, I'm for getting out of this lagoon just as fast as we can, without taking what we came for. We didn't come here to fight with monsters. We're not equipped for it. We came here to find fossils. Later, we can come back with a properly equipped expedition. Be reasonable. We're trapped in fighting for our lives, and you're worried whether they will believe us? Okay, this next part is from a book that I've currently written and trying to get published. Peace, man, hold thy tongue. We all know of the injustice that hath befallen yon abbey, thus the sombre mood of my inn. Now don't you serve to remind us of that which we doth try in vain to forget? Come and have a mug to drown thy sorrows with, and tally not, for it be on the house. Be still, you fool, the local guards will haul ye away. I sympathize with ye plight, but don't you lose your head, cleric. After all, you aren't the only cleric of this in here. I never said thank you for taking up our case. Ever thought I'd trust an English person again? Especially a lawyer. Anyhow, I'll be as brief and accurate as I can, with names, dates, and places. Anything that might help in our defence. To explain how I happened to be in England in the first place, at the time of the bombing, I better take you back to Northern Ireland, where I come from. Belfast was in total chaos. It was strange to see soldiers on the street, terrified of the civilian population. Any one of them could have been either a gunman. I was just a petty thief selling scrap metal in Belfast. That was a dangerous occupation. The IRA had already given me 3 warnings, and when a British patrol mistook me for a gunman, it got me into real trouble. According to his virtue, let us use him, with all respect and rites of burial. Within my tent his bones tonight shall lie, most like a soldier, ordered honorably. So call the field to rest, and let's away, depart the glories of this happy day. Thank you.
Now, after sending this out, how many agents actually contacted me? 0. None. Zip. Nada. Why? Let's analyze the agent's reaction to this. Why did no agent in America contact me after receiving this with my resume? First, I am sending them more than they asked for. Therefore, they did not look at the DVD. Second, they do not take unsolicited submissions. Third, no representation without industry referral. 4, if they actually looked at my resume, they glanced at the resume itself, said something about the look of the headshot, the length of the resume, that there was extra roles in there, he's a B actor, something of this nature. If they actually put the DVD in and looked at it, then they would have probably stopped the moment they looked at the opening section of the demo reel, which showed a few clips from some of the films, and said, B-rated actor, who cares? Okay? Maybe. If they actually watched everything, if they actually seriously read every detail, watched everything I gave them, what would have been their responses? Their responses would have been something like, he's looking down at a page. He has a bald spot on the top of his head. I don't like the look of his eyes. I think he looks too young. He's got to be lying. He's not in his 40s. Look at me. Do I look like I'm in my 40s? No, I must be lying. This must be some stunt by some teenager, because I can't be that old. I just can't be. They did the same crap when I was doing film, when I was between the ages of like 10 and 17. They kept telling me when I was 16 years old that I looked like I was 10. When I look like my age, maybe they'll consider me. I'm never going to look like my age. That's part of being an actor. It's part of being me. Okay? Now, when you look at it from that stupid perspective, you got to say, hey, guys, something's got to change, because this is dumb. Okay? If you were an actor and you were going to be represented by an agent, and that agent demanded a military crew when you walked in his door, my question to you is, what do you think the opinion of the agent would be if you were looking to work in a film where your character had long hair? Would the agent allow you to do the picture? Even if it was done with a wig, would the agent allow you to do the picture because a guy was in long hair in a film? Most likely not, because the agent is stuck in the 1950s attitudes of men. Men must look bald. Women are allowed to have long hair. Why? Because no man wants to look at a long-haired person in the back and be afraid that they might be looking at a girl. Or might not be looking at a girl. So all guys must have short hair, because long hair is girls. We've had this nonsense going around in America since 1940. You know, you're talking today. Most of the actors that send you resumes and demo reels like this, they're 21, which means they were born in the 90s. Okay? Generations from the 80s and 90s to 2000s, they're going to walk in the door with purple hair and they say, you got a problem with it? I mean, come on. You're talking the world today. You got to get out of this. But that beside the point. My anger beside the point. Okay? Any agent who actually looked at every single thing I sent, you know what they never actually heard? They never heard me. Because I can throw my voice. I can do a line one way, and I can answer it the other. So I can do an echo. Because I can do an echo, I can also do dialect changes. Because I can do dialect changes, I did maybe something like 10 different dialect, 10 different accent changes in that just tiny little bit. They're not even listening to it. They don't even care. Some agents are saying, well, I remember you. You're on the blacklist. No, I'm not representing you. I mean, come on. This is stupid. I should have been in film 20 years ago. A point I'd like to add to this. I was in college. I had just dealt with my grandmother's death. And at my grandmother's funeral, I got a call that I didn't quite understand. And it was Peter. It was the last time I had heard from Peter Cushing. He had called me up and he said, Christopher, thank God I found you. It's Peter. And I was completely taken aback. I was lost in misery of what was going on. I mean, everyone was going to pieces. I was the only one there holding everyone together. And I had explained to Peter that my grandmother had just died and what was happening around me. And I did remember that he actually knew Nana. And he felt sorry about that. And he just said, okay, no worries, I know what to do. Okay, that's all I heard from him is, I know what to do. Then I come back to college. And all hell breaks loose around me. I mean, literally, I go through so many different problems at once, it's not even funny. But I start coming back out of that slightly. Because Tom finds me. And Tom's sitting there going, okay, all right, you were in pieces when I walked in here. And now you're in a halfway decent mood. So I'm going to tell you something. Because I wasn't going to tell you before. And I said, okay, what's that? And he says, there are a couple of agents that want to talk to you. Now, I know it's stupid to sit there and say, agents want to talk to you. I know it's stupid with everything you're dealing with everything that's going on. But I'll let a few of them do it because I want to see what they're doing, what they're actually going to say. And I said, okay. He said, now, to give you a rundown on what's actually going on, none of us want to tell you this because we don't want to make you feel worse. But what's actually going on is this. You did a film years ago in a foreign country. You got awarded for it. It's being acknowledged today in the United States. Okay? You were nominated for an award. You did not win the award, but you were nominated for it. And it was a co-nomination with another person. It's the film you did in France that you got awards for. I said, that was 1985. He said, yeah, I know. They're acknowledging that today in the U.S.? That's amazing. I said, good. Glad you feel that way. So now you understand. So now we're going to take you and have you meet a few agents. I said, okay. So I met somebody from ICM, I met someone from WME, I met somebody from CAA, I met somebody from this, from that, from so on and so forth. And I think the conversation with the CAA guy was the most interesting because it was kind of nice to meet you. I like your style and I like who you are, but I wouldn't represent you kind of conversation, which was really kind of strange anyway. I mean, you kind of got the whole motion that what he had memorized was a speech of something like, B film actors don't belong with CAA or something of that nature. I mean, I've heard these kinds of talks millions of times from people. And we had a nice level conversation. And Tom said, that's probably the best conversation you've had with any member of CAA. And he said this to the agent from CAA. And he said, now you understand what Chris's point is. Because at that point in time, I was in college and working with the federal government in the war on drugs and Desert Storm. So the problem was, even if I wanted to work with an agent, because I was involved with the war on drugs in Desert Storm, the government of the United States would not have allowed me to suddenly stop fighting Desert Storm and go be a film actor. Okay? I would have had to have waited until Desert Storm was over, until my tour was over, and things were cooled down. So it didn't really matter anyway. But I had explained this nice and calmly to people, and they'd said, okay, and that was that. And Tom was absolutely furious after the last agent, because he was sitting there going, these agents tracked us down, tracked you down, just so that they could talk to you, and none of them, not a single one of them, actually intended on representing you, no matter what you said. Why do they bother us? And he didn't quite say it in that way, but he effectively said it. Okay? All they wanted to do was basically go see the monkey in a zoo. It was expected of them because he was honored at this award. Please. Something's got to change.